Salut Denzel, welcome to this midweek's lesson. Well, once again today, we shall continue right away from where we left from in the last lesson. And we are finally done, of course, with doing a correction of the quiz which was given mid this month. And we also took the opportunity to clearly talk about and, of course, to understand how to describe the weather in French under the lesson title Quel temps fait-il, which means what's the weather. We've seen different expressions, different sentences used in expressing or identifying the different weather conditions from it is raining, it is sunny, it snows. We've seen that with most French words, the words used for expressing weather conditions, we most of the times use il fait, il fait, il fait. Except when we're talking about it is rainy, which we say il pleut, and it is snowy, which we say il neige. So those were the only two sentences we used which did not have il fait. For all the others, we saw il fait. For example, il fait chaud, it is hot. Il fait soleil, it is sunny, and so on. So in this week's lesson, which we shall obviously see as well on Sunday, we shall most of the times complete application exercises to test your understanding so far of this lesson and make sure that the lesson has been perfectly understood before we head on to something different. So you're going to see exercises such as this one, and you can clearly see its title, Temps le or temps qu'il fait, which means of course the time, talking about the weather in French. Sorry. And you can see some cards here expressing different weather conditions. The first one, you can clearly see le temps, which is the main topic. So the second photo will be where we start identifying. And the second one, of course, we have la neige. And you know very well that when there is la neige, we call that in English snow. And if we want to say it's snowy, you say il neige. The next one is le vent. We also saw how to say it is windy, and of course the main element for bringing up the windy condition is the wind. The next one is la pluie, which is for the rain. Next, l'orage, which is for thunderstorm. Next, la grêle, which is for hailstones. And of course hailstones, you understand that happens especially when the rain is super strong. When the weather of course is very heavy with rainfall, it sometimes hailstones like small ice. The next is le brouillard, which you saw of course as foggy weather. And obviously the next is le soleil, which obviously is the sunshine. So again, we are going to play this audio right here for you to listen. That will be during the live class. And in that audio, you're going to hear a short story about different weather conditions. And most of the times, you're going to be hearing these words right here in each of the cards pronounced. So you'll be paying attention to that, so that after which you complete this exercise which you have below right here. And on the exercise, you can see some animated features, which, for example, have sentences close to them. And you are also going to read the sentences. Like, for example, the first one says, Jean n'aime pas. Again, Jean n'aime pas, which means John does not like. And when you click on the drop down menu right here, you have some options which you select from, depending on what is happening on the card. And from what is happening on the card, you can clearly see it is rainy. Look at it closely. You can see it is rainy. And how do you call rain in French? Of course, you saw it above there, it was la pluie. So you select la pluie, and then we move on to the next. We can see a guy who definitely loves skiing. This obviously happens when there's a lot of snow. And you know how to call snow in French. So the sentence says, il aime, which means he likes. And then you click the drop down menu again to select what it likes. Among these three, with the first we have l'orage, the second we have la grêle, the third la neige, The next, la pluie. Next, le brouillard, le soleil, le vent, je ne sais pas. And if you remember very well, you realize that we called snow la neige in French. So you select la neige, which is the third option. And with that, you move on to the next. So we're going to do all of this, and we're going to do even more exercises still related to this after watching again another video to make sure that you learn not only what we've seen, but some different and new sentences, which of course can be used in describing the weather condition in French. Remember, there are so many phrases and sentences which you can use in expressing the weather. Just like in English, we don't have one sentence. We have so many ways of doing that. In French, we have so many ways of doing that as well. But we're going to make you be confident with the ones we're teaching you first. Because if you try to bring like all of them together right now, when you have not yet understood the other, then it will be like kind of a confusion environment. So we just focus with one or two ways of describing the weather and make sure you understand that perfectly. As we progress, we're going to introduce it to the others. So that'll be what we shall see in this week's live lesson on Sunday. For now, it's time for us to say au revoir. I'll be leaving, of course, the link to this exercise below on the comment section, which you can use in getting better prepared ahead of Sunday's live session. For now, it's time for us to say au revoir et à bientôt. Bye bye.